Guys, I've just finished watching Bird Box, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the football. The super sub has now turned super manager. Solskjaer has replaced Jose Mourinho and they've got off to a brilliant start. Liverpool, top of the table at Christmas, 6 points clear. Could it be their year? Tottenham, are they the dark horses? Have Manchester City slipped up? Chelsea, still tugging along. Arsenal, what's next for the Unai Emery evolution? Guys, welcome to the Sanderson Show. So guys, welcome back and hope you had a brilliant Christmas. I don't know about you, but I've put on a bit of weight on the old belly, but you can't see it on camera because I've positioned it so you can't see it, so I'm going to have to word it off in the new year, one of my New Year's resolutions. But guys, welcome back and we're going to start off with Tottenham Hotspur. So Tottenham Hotspur in their last couple of games have notched up 11 goals. So they went to the other team in Merseyside, you know, the blue half, not the red half, and they scored 6 goals at Goodison Park. And then they followed that up with a 5-0 win against Bournemouth. And they are looking incredibly strong. Son scoring, Kane scoring, Ali scoring, Moura scoring. No longer can they be called a one-man team because they simply aren't. They just aren't. All of their top players are scoring goals and they're scoring regularly as well, and they're just looking really strong. And they are dark horses for this title challenge. Now, again, I still think it's going to be between Man City and Liverpool, but you cannot write off Tottenham. They are playing brilliant football, and it almost reminds me of the season in La Liga when everyone expected Real Madrid and Barcelona to compete, and it was Atletico Madrid that just came up behind everyone and pipped it on the last day of the season when no one expects them to win it. And Tottenham are looking like that team at the moment. They're playing brilliant football. They just look absolute class, and I mean, they can really ramp up the pressure. They play first out of all the top 6 teams this weekend, and again, I expect them to win. I can't see them losing this game. They just look really, really strong. I mean, Wolves are a good team, but Tottenham at this present moment are on a different level, and I only see them winning this game. I see them winning by a good margin as well. A couple of goals in my opinion, and they're really going to ramp up the pressure on Man City and Liverpool. I know people are still going to say they still need to sign players, but yes, if they get 1 or 2 in January, that could be a massive boost to the squad, and that could really tip them over the edge in going from being contenders to absolute challengers. But again, as I've said so many times, they didn't weaken in January, and they are still a strong team, and they've proved it and are continuing to prove it. So I'm going for a Tottenham win. I'm saying they're going to push Liverpool and Man City maybe till about March, April, and then maybe fall off. But guys, let me know what you think. Are they going to be dark horses? Could they win the title? Do you still think they need players in January? And do you think they will record another victory this weekend? Guys, leave your comments below. So now we move on to the big game of the weekend, the mouth-watering fixture between Liverpool and Arsenal. And let's be honest, this game never ever really lets you down. You're always going to get goals, you're always going to get a bit of drama, and I don't think this game's going to be any different. Now both teams are coming off back-to-back wins. Arsenal against, not back-to-back wins, Liverpool are coming off back-to-back wins. They recorded a 2-0 win against Wolves, and then they hammered Newcastle at home. Arsenal are coming off a rocky couple of games. I mean, they beat Burnley, but then they slipped up slightly against Brighton in a game that you would expect them to win. And I'll be honest, them actually drawing at Brighton probably makes them a bit more of a dangerous outfit because they'll be more up for this game. However, I do expect Liverpool to get the 3 points in this fixture. I think Liverpool have been very strong. I think the biggest danger for Liverpool in this game is that their defence stays on point. which has been brilliant so far this season. I mean, they've got more clean sheets than most hospitals, and you have to keep Aubameyang and Lacazette quiet. Now, Ozil hasn't travelled with the squad for this game, so it's going to be interesting to see who Unai Emery plays in that creative midfield role, or that creator in the front three. Torreira, you know what you're going to get with him, biting midfield, strong, athletic. Also the same with Guendouzi if he starts. I think Ramsey is a good option for Arsenal to start, but I don't know if he will. But for Liverpool, it's just basically doing the same. You've got to go out there, you've got to impose your will straight away. The front three have to play really well. If Shaqiri plays, he's got to continue his good form. Does Salah start up top? Does Firmino start up top? It's going to be really interesting. Is Mane going to have more of a consistent impact in this game? He has a good record against Arsenal, a really good record against Arsenal. Is that going to come into play? Especially if Liechtenstein is playing, who didn't look very comfortable playing against Brighton. But I think the key to this game is going to be midfield. And again, in Arsenal's case, there's no Ozil. In Liverpool's case, there's no Milner. Keita, we're not too sure about. I mean, he was on the bench at Newcastle, but he's not really kicked into form so far. Gini, Henderson, Fabinho, will Shaqiri play in the hole? Will Firmino play in the hole? It all depends on how Klopp decides to play it out. But I'm going for a Liverpool win. Maybe I'm a bit biased, but I think that we're getting Arsenal a good time, and I think Liverpool are playing some really good football at the moment, and they're a strong outfit. And they're riding high on confidence, and they have a good record against Arsenal at Anfield. So I'm going for a Liverpool win. Guys, let me know what you think. Is it going to be all smiles and cheers for the red side of Merseyside at Anfield, or are Arsenal going to come and inflict Liverpool's first defeat of the Premier League season? You know what to do. Comments below.
Chelsea! 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 Chelsea!
Now we move on to sorry soldiers. Lost against Leicester City. And I'll be speaking about Leicester again in this programme. From a Liverpool point of view though, thank you very much Leicester, keep doing what you're doing. So they lost against Leicester at home, but they did bounce back with a good win against Watford away from home. So Chelsea are sort of again inconsistent, up and down, and it seems to coincide with Eden Hazard's form. If Hazard's on form, Chelsea seem to do well and win. If he's off form, they seem to struggle a bit. And the whole striker situation at Chelsea is really weird. Now, obviously, Morata, he's not done anything to justify holding a place in that team. Giroud, again, he seems to be in the team 1 minute, out the team the next. So it's difficult to know what's going on. And I think Sarri is looking for a striker or another attacking midfielder. They've been linked with Pulisic very recently. And again, you think, where does he exactly fit into the Chelsea team there? I think they more need a striker. I think if I was Sarri right now, the striker I'd be looking at is Icardi at Inter Milan. For me, he's the one they should be going after. They've just dropped out of the Champions League. You know they've got the money to go and get him. Now he is very loyal to Inter Milan, but I think his head can be turned, and Sarri's obviously watched him closely being in Italy with Napoli for all these years. So you know how good of a finisher he is, and that is what Chelsea are missing. They are missing a very good finisher. And it could come into play again this weekend. Now, granted, I don't think they will drop points in this game. Again, I've got them to win, but again, it's not going to be an easy game. Palace are never an easy game, as they're proving. They proved it against City. They've proved it against some of the other top teams as well. But I do think Chelsea will have enough on the day. But I've been wrong about Palace a few times this season, especially when it comes to the bigger teams. But I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to go for a Chelsea win. It's not going to be pretty, but at this stage where the games are coming thick and fast, the results are all that matters. Wait and leave the performances for another day. Just get the 3 points on the board, and I think that's what Chelsea would do. So guys, let me know what you think. Chelsea fans, is Sarri going to do it? Is he going to pull off another good victory, or is Roy Hodgson going to throw a spanner in the works? Let me know in the comments below. And now we move on to the current Premier League champions, and the team that everyone thought would blow every team out of the water. But the last 2 games have not been good for Guardiola's men at all. And if you'd said to me a week ago that this would happen, I would have laughed in your face. but it has happened. It has. Man City have lost back-to-back games in the Premiership for the first time in a couple of years. And the manner in which they lost just seems a bit weird. I mean, so we'll start with the Palace game. Now, Jeffrey Schlupp's goal was a great goal, but Andros Townsend just took the absolute mick with that volley. It just ridiculous technique, ridiculous finish. Probably goal of the season already. If anything beats that, then it'll probably be goal of the century. So that's happened, and then obviously the penalty. So it's not like they've been outplayed by these teams. They've conceded good goals or goals they maybe shouldn't have conceded. But in the Leicester game, they were really put under pressure and on the back foot in periods of that game, and Leicester did really well, and it could have been more. It really could have been, and it's concerning for Pep that he's not kept a clean sheet in such a long time. And you start to look and think, when Fernandinho's not there, it's a massive hole to fill. And if he's not back in the next couple of games, especially for the Liverpool game, which we'll touch on in a week's time or a couple of days' time, it could be danger for Man City. And it just goes to show the importance of someone like Fernandinho, who rarely gets the plaudits of your David Silvas, your Agueros, your De Bruynes, your Sterlings, your Sanes, but you take a player like that out of the team and the pieces around just don't function as well. They are a machine, and you take one cog out, it doesn't rotate and it doesn't function as it should. And I think this is going to make Guardiola look at that position in particular and think, will he have to strengthen in January and definitely in the summer? I know they've looked at De Jong from Ajax, and he's a viable option, but do they need someone now? How bad is Fernandinho's injury? They're not really letting much on, but again, we'll see. But I do expect them to bounce back. I expect them to get a win this weekend. I think they'll ramp the pressure up now on Liverpool. If they don't get a win this weekend and Liverpool do, it's going to be a 10-point gap, which is just crazy when you think of what City have done so far this season. But I don't think that will happen. I do think they'll get a win. But you never know with City at the moment. Is their confidence down? Or are they just going to be able to get back to the City that they were, rampant, on the front foot, scoring goals, playing beautiful football? I think so. Guys, let me know what you think. And now on to Manchester United. And this will probably be the first time in a little while where Manchester United fans are quite happy to hear me speak about the club, because I can't really say anything bad for the last couple of games. Mourinho has shown the exit door, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in. And just like he did when he was playing for the club, he's come off the bench and he's changed things. Manchester United look more confident. They look more free-flowing. They look like the old Manchester United. Like, they just look like the old Manchester United, and you think, where's this been? Why couldn't this happen under Mourinho? And you look at the last two games, Martial, Rashford, Lingard, and the main man, more hairstyles than I can count, Paul Pogba is looking like the player that we think he can become. And granted, you have to take this, in my opinion, with a bit of a pinch of salt, because they have played back-to-back fixtures that you'd expect them to win. But it's the manner in which they've won those games, and you have to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer credit. He's brought back Mike Phelan as well, who's always going to be a popular figure at Manchester United, and they've scored 8 goals in the last 2 games. I can't tell you the last time they did that. In fact, I can. It was the beginning of Mourinho's first season. No, his second season, apologies, where they started the season with 2 4-0 wins. I think it was West Ham 4-0 and then Everton 4-0. Since then, they haven't done that. So you've got to give massive props to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They've got Bournemouth this weekend, and again, I can't see Eddie Howe's men going to Old Trafford and getting a result. In the reverse fixture, they won 2-1 with a late goal by Marcus Rashford. I don't think it's going to take a late goal this time to win the game. I think the game will be wrapped up within the first 60-70 minutes. I think Manchester United are confident. They've got that new manager, that essence, that spirit, and I do think they're just going to blow Bournemouth out of the water, and I can see it being a 3 or 4-0 victory. So we'll have to wait and see what the weekend presents. But as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thanks very much for joining me. Please leave a comment, like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. And I'll see you on the other side when I review the Premier League fixtures. Have a great one, guys.